As you guys know, we have not had a brand new Eeveelution for a long time. It's been since Pokemon X and Y. I originally thought we were going to get a brand new Eeveelution in Pokemon Legends ZA, because if you don't know, which I'm sure, 99.9% of you know this, but if you don't, Pokemon Legends ZA is taking place in the same region as Pokemon X and Y, which are the games that introduced us to the newest Eeveelution, which is Sylveon, and as well as, the fairy type and stuff like that. Pokemon X and Y actually brought so much to Pokemon, like, Mega Evolutions. It's the first time we ever got, like, an evolution / battle gimmick. So Pokemon X and Y are pretty important games if you really think about it. And since then, we've wanted a new Eeveelution for a long time, but I have good news about the future of Eeveelutions. Apparently, we were supposed to get a flying type Eeveelution or something like that within Pokemon Sun and Moon, and according to, a lot of people online, it was a scrapped evolution. Like, they actually were planning it, and they just never dropped that Eeveelution, which I think would be amazing. I do think Generation 10 is going to bring us some new Eeveelutions. But if you don't know, a lot of people online make the claim that, because the fans have made a fake, flying, like a Fakemon flying Eeveelution, that means Game Freak can't use it. Or that means the Pokemon Company are not allowed to actually use that design or use a flying type Eeveelution. And I've always kind of thought that was a weird claim to make, because Game Freak, Pokemon, Nintendo, they literally own Eevee. Like, it's their right, it's their property. So just because somebody makes a fan-made Eeveelution, in my eyes, never really made sense for them to not be able to make that happen, because somebody has already, made their own fan-made render or fan-made art, which is fine. Like, fan art is okay to make. Fan art is great. Fan art is awesome. I love looking at fan art. It's cool to see people's creativity and see what they create. And obviously, people have made a Fakemon / fan art about any type of Eeveelution possible, but it just would not make sense for Game Freak to not be able to use it. So we have some good news to go over. So I saw this on Twitter. Somebody replied to Cardinal. If you don't know who he is, he makes really good, Pokemon renders, like 3D renders. He makes his own Fakemon. He makes, cool renders of, switches or just, Mega Evolutions, which is fine. People can actually do that with no repercussions. So somebody said it's because of people like you that Nintendo and Game Freak can't make beautiful designs like that, because it creates drama, because you're the first to have done it. Cardinal says, stupidest argument ever. If they do a ZA Switch 2, it would have been designed already. They're not about to cancel it because someone made a similar concept online using their trademark design. They've only done this once years ago, and people act like it's a regular thing. If you don't know what he's talking about, it's because he actually made like a Switch 2 concept art for Legends ZA, which looks awesome. Like, I would absolutely buy this immediately if this came out. Cardinal said this situation is also for a Pokemon design, not a console special edition, which once again, by Pokemon design, he's referring to the Eeveelution flying type, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. And then Hoops and Hip Hop, which you guys probably know him, he's a pretty cool dude. That Eeveelution leaking was the worst thing to happen to Fakemon stuff, because people keep shouting this out from the rooftops without even having knowledge of the situation. This disclaimer is literally on the Pokemon website, granting them the right to use any design that is similar to the fan art and do whatever they want with fan art related designs on their stuff. It literally does not affect them in any way whatsoever. That flying type Eeveelution was an insulated incident that has since been dealt with. And right before we get to the rest of this, shout out to the sponsor of today's video. This video is sponsored by Fine. Now, they sent me this awesome product right here. This is the Amplagame D6 Stream Controller. Here's the box, which is a really nice box, and this thing is actually amazing. So basically what it is, you can put anything you want onto these little buttons right here, and it essentially pops up. So I can pull up my, OBS, which I use for recording to my screen sometimes, which you can see right here. Now it shows up on the computer. I can do the same thing for my streaming service, which I use to stream my live streams on YouTube. What you can see right now, it has popped up. And now this thing is actually a game changer. So I actually have this little squirrel icon right here to actually switch my audio input. So I could switch from my speakers to my headphones literally by pressing that button. Now here's the software. As you can see, you could select whatever you want to be in any of these little squares right here. You could also have separate pages. There are so many different plugins you could do. You have all of these options right here. There's also a store online which you could download a ton of different unique things to, do what you want with this deck. So it also has this awesome RGB color on the side, which I actually really like. Link to them in the description. Go pick one up now. This is the best device you could use for streaming, or literally even just for casually using your PC. You don't even need to use this for streaming. You could literally do it for leisurely activities like Discord. I could open my editing software and stuff like that. So it's super awesome. Link in the description. So then Hoops and Hip Hop posted this screenshot, which is actually on the official Nintendo website. And right here, just for more proof, I'm on the actual Nintendo website right here. And as you can see, this is a legal information kind of like disclaimer. Distribution in any form and any channel now known or in the future of derivative works based on the copyrighted property, trademarks, service marks, trade names, and other arbitrary property fan art, that's what that means, of the Pokemon Company International Inc. and its affiliates, Pokemon blah blah blah, consist of royalty-free, non-exclusive, irrevocable, transferable, sub-licensable, worldwide license from the fan art's creator to Pokemon to use, transmit, copy, modify, or display fan art and its derivatives for any purpose. No further consideration or compensation of any kind will be given for any fan art. Fan art creators give up any claims that the use of fan art violates any of their rights, including moral rights, privacy rights. Dude, this is crazy. Whoever wrote this went like, bro, this is crazy. This is insane. Rights to credit for material or ideas or any other right, including the right to approve the way such material is used. In no uncertain terms, does Pokemon's use of fan art constitute a grant to fan art's creator to use the Pokemon intellectual property or fan art beyond a personal, non-commercial home use. Okay, so I know that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of gibberish, basically. Whoever wrote that, definitely spend some time. But if you don't know what this means, which it is hard to understand because the words are crazy, but it makes sense. Essentially, what this says is that if you are a fan artist out there and you make a fan art, dragon type Eeveelution, that means the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, all the affiliates, so like Nintendo, whatever, they actually have the right to use that, to copy it, and you don't get anything out of it. You don't get compensation, you don't need a shout out, which is, alright. This is saying you can make fan art. It's totally allowed to make fan art. People love making the fan art. I love looking at fan art. So fan art is legal. You can use it. However, if you are making, a fan art of a Pokemon based on a Pokemon, so, like a Larvitar or Pikachu or something like that, that means you already give the right to Pokemon to use that design if they want. It makes sense because you're using, their design, their copyrighted design of a Pokemon and using your own twist to it. Now, the thing about this is they never actually copy designs. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't copy fan artist designs. Now, I may be wrong. If you have heard a situation of where Pokemon has actually copied somebody's fan design, let me know because I would be really interested to, research that, but I can't find anything about it. But this totally makes sense. So, essentially, if you're thinking about Eeveelutions, how everybody on the internet is convinced that just because somebody has made a flying type Eeveelution or a dragon type or a fighting type Eeveelution, that means that Nintendo can't use it or Pokemon Game Freak can't use that actual design or use those typings in general is incorrect. Pokemon and Game Freak can actually do it. So the reason of Pokemon Sun and Moon's, flying type Eeveelution apparently being scrapped is for a complete different reason. Now, I don't know why they haven't dropped a new Eeveelution in over 10 years. To me, that's kind of stupid and kind of crazy because Eeveelutions are awesome. Now, it could just be because of the simple fact that we have a lot. I'm pretty sure we have 9 total Eeveelutions. So, I mean, they could just be like, okay, we have too many. We're not going to do any more because that's a lot. That is a lot of evolutions from one Pokemon. And now that maybe they wanted to, give the spotlight to other Pokemon. Now, like I said earlier, I do think Generation 10 is going to give us a new Eeveelution. I don't think it's going to happen in Legends ZA, but I could definitely see it in Generation 10 of Pokemon. I hope to get a flying type or dragon type Eeveelution in Generation 10 because apparently we're going to have floating islands within that game based on some leaks that we've had. So for that reason, I think it would be so dope to have like a flying type, dragon type Eeveelution where you could fly from one floating island to a different floating island. And once again, it's Generation 10, which is a big deal. So I'm hoping that means we're going to get some crazy stuff within Generation 10. Generation 10 is kind of approaching us kind of quickly, you know what I'm saying? We're probably going to get the announcement for that game, maybe Pokemon Presents early 2026 in February for Pokemon Day. A lot of people are speculating we could actually get it for Pokemon Presents in July, which we're going to see if we do really soon. I feel like it's a stretch, but I kind of could see them dropping the name, like the title for Generation 10 and nothing else, like no gameplay. I could totally just see them announcing the name for the games, which I think would be cool. But if you guys are watching this far in the video and if you are a real one, make sure to comment down below a evolution that you want to see, like a dragon type, any type of evolution that we don't already have. My, highest vote, I would say, is probably dragon and then a flying type. I think those would be super awesome to see. I actually do think a fighting type evolution could go kind of crazy as well. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications, and help me reach my goal of 30,000 subscribers before the end of the summertime. But anyways, hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Someone